After day trading these markets for 4+ years, you quickly learn and are humbled by how hard day trading really is. You see, I've tried everything in terms of strategies: fair value gaps, liquidity sweeps, turtle soup, you name it, I've tried it. But none of it was helping me stay consistent. I would take loss after loss, mark out my charts with so many different things that I honestly had no clue what I was even looking at. It wasn't until I simplified my strategy to 2 or 3 simple, consistent steps that I knew I could do every single day that turned my trading profitable. This past month with this exact strategy, I profited over $70,000 copy trading funded accounts with it. And I'm going to walk you through this exact strategy today and how you can do it. First, I will show you what exactly the strategy is and how to use it. Second, I will show you the results that it has produced me in the past few months of trading it. And third, I will give you some live back-tested examples showing you in real time with psychology how you can enter these trades. This past week, the Discord and I took trades using this exact strategy, and we went pretty much undefeated with 1 losing day. If you want access to take these exact same trades live like I do every single day, the Discord link will be in the description. Without further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe and share the channel so we can spread the gospel and grow more content through traders. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So most importantly, to start off the video, what trading strategy am I actually talking about? You guys have probably scoundered the internet and tried different strategies and saw different things, but in fact, you just can't stay consistent. And I promise you, as I mentioned in the intro, I was just like that. Okay, so what strategy am I actually talking about? Am I talking about turtle soup? Am I talking about liquidity sweeps? Am I talking about inverse fair value gaps? No, I'm talking about something 10 times simpler that requires half the time and half the effort of that and can be done in either 2 or 3, at most 3, simple steps. This strategy is called support and resistance. Well, what exactly is support and resistance? I have traded 2 types of strategies my entire life trading. I trade price action strategies most importantly, either supply and demand or some form of support and resistance. And I will double down and say that support and resistance is easily my favorite one and the one that I would recommend to new and beginner traders and even struggling intermediate traders 10 times out of 10. So here we are, and I have drawn out this structure for us to look at. What do you guys immediately see? Well, this is meant to play out what candlesticks would look like on the chart. You see, we have a candlestick pattern here. It is moved all the way up. It is pivoted and stopped here. It cannot go any higher. So what does it do? It makes its way down. It comes back up to the area. Again, cannot make its way higher than this area, so it pivots down again. History came up and repeated itself from this area that it once rejected. The first time, it is rejected again. Well, did it do that once, twice? No, it did it 3 times right here, as you can see. So this right here would be your area of resistance. All an area of resistance is a point where price had moved up, stopped, came back down, pulled up to the area again, rejected it again, and moved its way down. 2 touches on a zone that rejected an area. You have 1 touch. Let me find my tool. You have 1 touch here, another touch here. Therefore, you can mark that out as your area of resistance. Now you might be asking, what is support? Well, support is essentially the same thing. It is just done down below. Your price is being supported down below. You have a touch here, and price moved its way all the way up. It came back, touched the same area right here, and moved its way all the way up again. What do you have? You have 2 touches right there, both rejecting an area, forcing price to move its way up. Well, therefore, that would become your area of support. Well, then what do you wait for? You wait for price to come back down to said area once again. As you can see, you can hope for the rejection with some simple candlestick patterns. And you can go ahead and enter that trade. And as you guys can see, you get the same pattern as you once did. Basically, the saying I like to use with support and resistance is history likes to repeat itself. You need 2 touches off an area showing that price is bounced off this area, whether it be down here with support or up here with resistance, 2 times. That is what validates an area of support and resistance from me. So let's actually look at the candlestick themselves and mark out some areas of support and resistance. So here we are on the 15-minute time frame of gold. You can mark out areas of support and resistance on any time frame. Do not be limited by the time frame. You can add them on the 1 minute time frame all the way up to the weekly or monthly time frame if you want to do that. That is the great part about support and resistance. It can work on any given time frame. Now, I recommend you enter your support and resistance zones on the 5, 15, or 30 minute time frame and enter the trades on the 1, 3, or 5 minute time frame. So I'm going to stick with the 15 minute time frame, but then again, if you want to enter them on the 1 minute or the daily time frame, it's up to you. But let's actually look. We have a prime example right here. Price comes up to this area right here and stops. It moves its way down. So what do you have right here? You have a whole area where price came to, and then it rejected it. It comes back up to the area right here. Does it go any higher? Absolutely not. It rejects the same area as was rejected over here and moved its way down. So what does this give you? This gives you an area of resistance right here. Now, here comes the fun part. Price pulls back up into the area, rejects the same area that rejected the previous 2 times like we mentioned, and then you can enter a short position with your stops above there, and you could erode it all the way down to this point of market structure for a 1 to 3, and if you're even smart enough to hold the trade even more, you could erode it down to a 1 to almost 6. Now that is a prime example of support and resistance. You have one area being rejected, it comes back up, retests the same area, rejects it again. You mark this off as your area of resistance. Price pulls back up for the 3rd time and rejects it once again. There you go. You get the dump of the candlesticks. That is a prime example of support and resistance being resistance, this example. Now let's look at an area of support. You have price coming down to this area and it immediately bounces up with a lot of volume. So we can go ahead and mark out an area that looks something like this. Oh, would you look at this? It comes back to the area and instead of going any lower, it respects this once area of support and bounces off of it right again. So we can continue to extend the line knowing that this is a valid area. Well, would you look at that? What does price do? It comes here once again, rejects off the area, and you can go ahead and enter a trade that looks exactly like that. But that's not even the coolest part. The coolest part is these zones even work after they are broken through. So here you could see that we are using this area as a bounce play area of support. But price breaks through the level, pulls back up to the area, and actually rejects it. You could have entered something like this for a break and retest play. It is not only used for bounce plays, but if it breaks through, you can still claim the area as valid and take a bounce play for a support and resistance break and retest play. What I mean by that is this. Price broke through the area, pulled back up into the area, retested and rejected the area, holding under it, and then it made its way down for the actual move. That is called a break, a retest and rejection, or a continuation back to the downside. And what do you know here? Price pulls its way back above the zone, continues to retest and reject it, and now it bounces off of it several times, even moving up even further. These areas can be used at any time and any place. It does not matter what is going on. If they are bouncing off the area, you can look for bounce plays. If they are breaking through them, you can look for break, retest, and continuation plays. This is the great part about support and resistance. It is simple, but extremely effective for all types of market conditions and or trends. So now that we've gone over the basis of what support resistance is and what it looks like, I'm going to show you the results that it has printed me the past few months, and then we will get into some back-tested examples. All right, guys, so welcome to my TradeZella account. TradeZella is the most reputable trading journal. I have all my accounts imported into TradeZella, and it automatically logs every trade that I take with truth and effectiveness. As you guys can see, this is the week we had with the Discord. Unfortunately, on this day, we took 1 loss and 1 winner, 2 trades that day, so that's why this day is a little smaller than the rest. But this is the week we had with the Discord. Monday, I was on an airplane, so I didn't get to do a live call, and Friday, I just don't trade, so it's why I'm filming this video today. But if you look at the trades we took, we had all green days. Now, granted, some of my students may have had red days on Thursday because of we took 1 winner and 1 loser, so depending on how they managed their positions, they could have ended up a little tiny bit green or even red, but I managed my position well and ended up with a small green day. But as you can see, the results work.
Now, November's not even the good part. Of course, we haven't taken a loss in November yet, but November's not even the good part. Let's head back to October and let's look at what we're actually seeing here. Over $73,000 profited this month using 10 copy traded Apex accounts, okay? And as well some Alpha Futures accounts. That's why these numbers are smaller. The 16th of October was the first day that I logged myself into 10 Apex accounts. All the numbers before this were Alpha Futures accounts, hence the smaller numbers. And as you can see down here, we even as well had some Alpha Future account trades as well. But this strategy works, guys. As you can see, let's go back to September. 1 loss in the month of September. August, we took 3 losses, but still a good month. Going back to July, same thing, 1 loss. But the strategy clearly works. There's no reason to question if the strategy works if you were doing it correctly. Now, I've showed you what support and resistance does. I've showed you how it's profited for me and as well as students in my Discord. Now let's actually go over some back-tested examples of it and how you can do it on your own. Okay, guys, so here we are on the charts where we can end up back-testing some examples. As you guys can see, first thing we notice is price comes down to right here and bounces up. It comes back down to the same area and doesn't make any new lows. It respects this area that was respected originally and bounces up again. So what can you determine about that you can mark that off as your area of support? You can then wait for price to pull back to this area, give us some type of rejection showing that price wants to continue to move upward, and you can enter the position. So let's see what we get. Bang. So we get price that pulls back into the area. But if we do it again, it's showing that price is maintaining this area and we are not continuing lower. Buyers come to this area and they immediately push it up just like they did here. Knowing that, we can enter this trade, we can have our stops under the area just like that, and we can target something as simple as a 1-to-1, a 2-to-1, whatever works for your strategy. We can then enter the trade and watch it play out in immediately 2 candles. Guys, I've showed you a bounce play. I want to show you exactly what a break and retest play looks like in live time. Well, what do we have here? We have an area where prices continued to reject and bounce off of. Price has tried, but it has never made new highs, and we continue to bounce and reject off this area. As you guys can see, price has tried to make its way above here and just could not. Just as this is an area of resistance as well, so is this. I think you guys get the idea that we are looking for bounces off areas and for price to reject areas several times. Well, we can wait for price to break above like it did here, and now it's pulling back into the area, retesting it and rejecting it. Not only did it reject the area it once called resistance as newfound support, it printed a nice bullish rejection wick, and then after that, buyers engulfed price off the area with bullish volume, showing that the area they once held as resistance, they have turned it into newfound support and they want to continue to move it up. You can then enter the trade and watch it play out, just as simple as that. Okay guys, now for our final example, an area of resistance. We've done 2 areas using support. Now let's look for an area of resistance. Well, what do we have here? We have price rejecting here and moving its way down. It pulls back up into the same area, rejects it again, and of course, moves its way down. So using the data and the knowledge that we have gained about what we want to see from support and resistance, we can go ahead and mark off this area and deem it valid as an area of resistance. Now, as I'm sure you guys are aware, we can wait for price to pull back into this area and potentially look for a continuation. So let's see if we get something just like that. Okay, so we have pulled back into this area. Now what I can look for as I get here is my engulfing candle off the area. We have a 3-line strike with 3 bearish candles in a row, showing that, okay, buyers pushed up into this area, but sellers are going to print 3 bearish candles in a row, making this our 3-line strike with engulfing volume. These are all forms of market structure that you can look to enter when trading support and resistance. You can now look to enter the position off the area of resistance, and you can see that price will hit take profit. I really appreciate you guys all being here and coming to this video and watching and wanting to gain knowledge on your trading. Don't forget that I live trade every single day using this exact strategy with the guys in my Discord. The link will be in the description. I'm super blessed and super grateful for you all to be here. I hope you all know that Jesus Christ loves you every single day, and no matter how much of a broken sinner you think you are, Christ's mercy is more prominent than that. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys all being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the channel, and all links necessary to your trading journey will be in the description. Peace out, guys. Much love.